Long, long ago, there lived a community of readers that loved to share their love for books and love to share their reviews after they're done reading those books. But then, a spirit attacked this village, this lovely community, and they started turning on each other, especially those that have the nerve to hate on a book that is popular because people like it. Ask Aminat. She will tell you what she faced when she did something like that. And I somehow did mine not too long ago. In fact, after posting that review, I had to turn off my data because who knows what's coming for me. But lucky for you guys, on here, I'll be giving you the tea and I'll be telling you exactly what I feel about that book in detail. Because that 1 minute 30 seconds, is it 1 minute 30 seconds? I mean 1 minute 22 seconds. It's not everything. It is not. And lucky for you, you're here on YouTube and you get everything. So stick around. Before we get into this video, if this is your very first time of seeing this space, hi, how you doing? Welcome to my channel. My name is Sophia, or the book I would like my bookish friends like to call me, and we're going to be talking about When Love Visits today. And before we get into it, who is Comfort Mowbray? Comfort Mowbray, from what I gathered, is a very known name in the, when I say the industry, now I can't say the industry, but she's a very known person on the internet space. And before this book came out, I did not know who she was. I had to go back when I noticed on Twitter that people were tagging her a lot and tagging this Phoenix Black person. And I was like, who is Phoenix Black? From what I saw, it's Comfort and Mowbray that wrote the book. And when I opened Phoenix Black's page, I noticed that she's a known person. And we all know what happens when a known person writes a book. We all know what happens. We know. And it happened. This book was everywhere. It was everywhere. When love visits, when love visits, when love visits. Book influencers on Bookstagram, on Book Talk. In fact, it was here. This book had us here. The marketing of this book, it was here. And I mean, it was here. Everybody was like, go and read this book. You need to read this book. If you're not reading this book, what are you doing? It had us on a chokehold. We were not Britain. Ali Mimo. We were just like that, watching. And if you did not read this book, for some reason, you have coconut head like me. Because I picked up this book in December, and while I was reading this book, it was cute, yes. They already told us that it was a light-hearted romance, and from the packaging of the book, if you see the book, it looks like it looks like a very small journal, and the book already tells you don't expect too much, kinda in a way. But I was waiting for something. Like after the meet cute, after Tade met Uju and like, in his own considerable way, found a very cutesy way to get to know her and all of that. I was waiting for something. I just okay, you guys have met. Okay, I was still waiting for something. But like the book was just going like this. It wasn't regular. Normally romance books we go like this and then now climb like this and now come down, that's the best way I can explain it to you. Please don't ask me stupid questions. That's the best way I can explain it. But I kept waiting for something, and in waiting for something else dragged my attention on Instagram. I saw another cute book on Instagram and I got into it and I read it. And that's how I did not read this book until a couple of days ago while I was at this interview waiting for my turn. I decided I was looking, I didn't come out with a book and I needed to read something. If I lose my mind, I was bored. There was no network in the place. And the only unread book on my phone happened to be When Love Visits. And I was like, oh yeah, I was reading this book all that time. And I decided, oh, let's read this book again. And that's how I opened this book and finished it. In finishing this book, I had a lot to say because half the time this book had me rolling my eyes. And we're going to be talking about everything today. That's one of the perks of being here because I posted I'll call that one a teaser of a review on my TikTok and my Instagram, and I was kind of scared that people will come for me because a lot of people seem to like the book. But since people did not come for me after I posted my reviews, either one of these two things, maybe I did a good job, or maybe all of you were lying. And I'm leaning towards the second. I'm leaning towards the second. So the very first thing I noticed was the over explanation of Nigerian culture. If you know me, you know that I hate this thing a lot. Leave our culture for us alone. Fuck? What's going on? Why are you explaining a lot, a lot? Allow Google to make money. If they don't understand what certain things are, they should go to Google. Google will explain. Google will explain it. You don't know what momo is? Go to Google. Google will tell you it's a Nigerian food. The fuck? Why are you having to explain? We read Harley Quinn books back in the day. We read Nora Roberts books back in the day. You know, read all these books. We didn't understand some of the places and some of the things, their culture, New York culture, Las Vegas. We didn't understand. But did Google not help us? Google did. Half the time, so we didn't even care for some of these things. We just wanted to enjoy the story. But this book, they kept on explaining every single time it was done. I was rolling my eyes. It was a painful experience. I would like to say. So number two, the idealization of these characters. If you've read this book, you know that the goal of this book is to portray healthy relationships, to pass the message that relationships can be healthy. It doesn't always have to be a toxic relationship, right? Somewhere along the line of her trying to portray or pass this message along, she polished this her characters a little too much. I understand that men can be considerate, and Tade was very considerate, prioritized communication and all the rest of that. But somewhere, somehow, these characters were now very difficult to relate to. I like the feel good nature of the book was a very nice touch. I liked that. But somehow the author forgot that sometimes conflict helps us grow. When there's an absence of conflict, there's no growth, whether we like it or not. Even in friendships, you'd hear sayings like, "Oh, now when una fight finish, una go know how much una take like una self," something like that. There was nothing like that in this book, and kind of felt weird to me, man. It felt a bit weird to me. Now, number three, yes, I'll poke your eyes. Number three, the shallow dialogues. Please kill me. What? Some of the dialogues were repetitive, and the conversations were very shallow. Then when you can sense growth, you can sense how far two people have come from the type of dialogues that they have with one another. I could not find this one here. I will not say we could not. Me, I would say I could not find it here. Instead, what we found was a couple of pop culture references mentioning Anthony Bridgerton and Justin Bieber. Hello, please, please. The dialogues were very shallow, and for real readers, you know that dialogues are one of the things that carry the story. And when a dialogue is shallow, four, the timelessness of this book. The timelessness of this book was taken away by the author herself. You see that constant reference to Twitter, the Twitter lingo, social media lingo, what it just took the timelessness of this book away. And literature needs to be timeless. People are still picking up popular because people are still picking up what's the name of this first book? Sef? I forgot his name. People are still picking up Nora Roberts books. People are still picking up China Achebe, Things Fall Apart because it's timeless. The constant reference to Twitter lingo, Twitter slangs, and all the rest, all those social media slangs. If someone picks up this book a decade from now, the person will be very pissed because the person might not understand some of these things, and not understanding something leads to frustration. From frustration, they will drop the book. Me, I know if I pick up this book a couple of days, a couple of years from now, maybe I somehow pick up the book a decade from now, I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed. Number five. This is a very personal thing, and this only happens with editors. But I noticed some mistakes. The tightening of the loose ends at the end of the book, like after you've given out the book to ARC readers and beta readers, when you put in the corrections and all the rest, that last bit of editing, I feel like it wasn't done with this book. It wasn't. There were some mistakes because if it was done, the repetitive dialogues and some of the scenes that seemed like it was repeated would have been noticed. They would have noticed. The editors would have noticed and would have fixed it. Would have fixed it, but somehow they did not. Somehow they did not, and I feel like the repetitive dialogue slowed down the pace of the book. And for people that have very short attention span, this one will now be a no-no for them. But that's just me. Oh. That's just me. If you are planning on coming for me, ask yourself these three questions. One, do I know this girl? No. Two, if I see this girl face to face, can I beat her? If your answer to these two questions is no, mind yourself in my comment section. Okay? Thank you. God bless you.